What are your feelings about the ephemeral dog?
I think it's pretty disgusting.
Can you describe briefly what happens to the ephemeral dog in its tragic life?
It appears to grow smaller as it grows older.
It would fall out of its lead, wouldn't it?
Oh, yes.
It would blow away on a strong breeze?
The whole thing becomes absurd in capital letters.
What typeface, do you think?
Grotesque.
What about the effect of an ephemeral dog on a child?
Oh, I think it would be deadly. It would give him nightmares for the rest of his life, I should think.
Might send him to an early grave.
Send him to an asylum.
And this is quite serious, isn't it?
Oh, yes, I'm quite serious about it.
As a rule of thumb, what would you say would be the minimum size limit for a dog?
Well, a lap dog for around about a foot long or something like that is adequate, I should have thought.
Certainly not so small you could play tiddlywinks with it.
No, certainly not.
If you saw an ephemeral dog which had reached the final furlong of its wretched life, how would you comfort it as it faded?
I think I would kill it.
And as a memorial to the species, a few words?
Jesus wept.
Looking today at stomach velocity, what are your feelings?
The stomach velocity. It could be the genetic structure, the way they're built, the way their mother and father made them.
That could affect the stomach velocity?
Yeah, very much so, yeah.
Can you tell from people's faces if they've got an awkward stomach velocity?
I think you can, yeah.
What do you look for there?
Well, I think you can look for an odd look on their face, kind of sort of a tightness around the mouth or around the eyes.
Would the eyes move a bit?
I should imagine the eyes would discolour and probably close a bit, you know.
Can you think of anybody in the public eye who we see with an absurd stomach velocity?
The chairman of the Conservative Party right now.
If he was walking at 3 miles an hour, what velocity would his stomach have?
5 miles an hour right now.
So he's +2 on whatever he's doing.
Yeah.
What about if the stomach's going too slow and you're walking along at 3 miles an hour, your stomach's only going at 1?
I think you'd collapse after, you know.
In less than half a mile?
I should think much less, yeah. Very, very much less. About 100 yards, you could collapse quite easily.
And whereas when the stomach is going too fast, the eyes are helter-skelter and the mouth is tight, what about when the stomach's going too slow?
I don't know, you sort of have to look at some of these retarded people, maybe. Some of their expressions, it's sort of dreamy and kind of, everything is very nice.
But it shouldn't be that slow?
No, maybe not.
Or too fast that it starts pushing out the front of the shirt?
Absolutely, yeah.
So disturbing the tie structure?
Yeah, very much so, yeah.
If it started disturbing the tie structure, what advice would you give to somebody?
Well, I mean, they could be giving people the wrong impression, especially where ties are very important today. So, I mean, you've really got to keep this tie straight.
How do you feel about the recent rise of irresponsible saucepan behaviour?
I didn't really know about that.
Saucepan, did you say? Some of them are quite heavy.
Yeah, especially the iron ones.
The iron ones?
The iron ones, yeah.
The iron ones?
Yes, definitely the iron ones.
Definitely the iron ones.
We wouldn't purchase the heavier gauge.
Because of the danger?
Yeah.
What to you would be irresponsibility around the area of a saucepan?
Well, the way you handle it, of course. I think they're very heavy, actually, aren't they? These cast iron, if that's what the ones we're talking about. The old black pots like they used to use.
And you shouldn't cast iron?
No.
At people?
No.
You've got to stack it, isn't it?
Height above the ground is important.
Yes, definitely.
What could be the worst thing you think that could happen in the house due to irresponsible saucepan behaviour?
Well, if I had a heavy one on a shelving system, now it fell down, they'd do a bit of damage to one.
Do you think you'd ever get up again?
No.
And what's the maximum height above the ground that these things should be stored at anyway?
Eye level.
What do you think about taking a leaf out of the catering industry's book and attaching a couple of helium balloons so that if it fell off the shelf, it would come down slowly?
Yes, that's true.
Yeah. How many balloons would you recommend?
5.
Right, so we're looking today at vertical meat.
Yeah.
What problems would you have with your mouth?
Young people would choke on it, couldn't they?
What about people such as yourself? Would you have the experience to deal with vertical meat?
Yeah, what actually happens is that it gets in your throat and it stops your breathing.
With vertical meat?
That's right, yeah. And then it could choke you.
Yeah, and you could fall to the floor cursing and screaming and shouting.
Yeah.
Would that vertical meat come flying back out, do you think?
Might do.
Only if somebody gave you a sharp
wallop, yeah.
In the Heimlich.
That's it.
How fast would it come out, do you think?
Or just like an arrow.
So how many miles an hour?
15, 20.
If you found out that vertical meat came from a vertical cow, would that make you feel worse about it?
Yeah, would, no.
What's the problem with a vertical cow?
Well, the point is that you don't know where it's been and the meat that you're going to have, you haven't got no idea what it's like.
Would you think it would be in pain, a vertical cow?
Yeah, not much, yeah.
I bet you. What is actually the correct angle for meat?
About 60 degrees, I said.
We're looking today at circular tea. Does it help? Circular tea.
Circular tea?
Do you think there's any problem if you start introducing corners into it?
Possibly to people with dentures, I don't know.
But I'd say 3 corners.
Well, do you use the flat part in your mouth or the pointed piece?
What would you use?
I'd have to use the flat.
And what problems could ensue in that circumstance?
Probably spill the damn stuff.
What gives you more gush? Fewer corners or more corners?
Fewer corners, I think, yes.
The fewer corners, the more gush?
There'd be more volume, yes.
So, if you had triangular tea, what percentage gush would you get, do you think?
25%.
And two-cornered tea? It's a really horrible concept, two-cornered tea. What percentage gush would you get there?
Oh, I'd say 35%.
And what about one-cornered tea?
One-cornered? Oh, that'd be worse still, I should imagine.
What percentage gush?
Oh, I don't know, 75%.
How many corners would give you 100% gush, total spillage, nasty all over your shirt and trousers and stuff?
Maybe just the one
corner?
One corner, yes.
Noise attendants, are they necessary?
Noise attendants?
It is said that there is too much noise at the moment. Noise attendants might be one solution.
Yeah, I think so, because it's very difficult to find a pub now that's not blasting out music.
How many noise attendants would you like to see?
Oh, about 2 or 3, I think.
2 or 3 per acre?
Yeah.
How much public money would you be prepared to see spent on noise attendants?
Oh, God. £1 million, something like that?
What colour uniform should they wear?
I would just say something like a pale blue blazer, something like that. So they've got to stand out, haven't they?
Should they have a little box to stand on if they were below a certain height?
I suppose so.
Well, how big a box?
Oh, about the size of a beer crate.
If they were to serve their function well, they couldn't really talk above the noise that was being made. Otherwise, they'd be making more noise themselves.
Yeah.
So what would you have them do?
Well, they'd probably have to flash a card and say, please.
What would be written on the card?
I am a noise attender. Please reduce the level of noise that is being manufactured in this area.
Are you surprised that your opinions agree almost exactly with those of the German ear Dr. Herr Rigging in the Kopf?
No.
Tossing your head. What does it mean when you do it?
Tossing my head means you don't want to know.
Is it an outdated thing to do, toss your head?
We don't see so much of these days, do we? No.
So what distance would you say would the ideal distance for tossing your head?
Oh, I think 10 feet.
It'd be pointless doing it if they were further away.
Oh, I think so. Then they wouldn't know what the score, why you were tossing your head in the first place.
Exactly. And it might not carry.
No, of course it wouldn't. No.
So when you don't want to know, you toss your head.
Yeah. With a little gesture in my arms as well, yeah.
To accompany the departure of your head.
That's right, yeah.
And then you'd try and make your way home as normally as you could.
That's right, of course I would.
We're looking today at furball atrocities. Do you think furball atrocities are good?
You mean swearing?
No, atrocities with furballs.
Yeah, I don't like it. Don't like it at all.
What do you think causes the increased incidence of furball atrocities?
I think it would be the unemployment.
Somebody got no job, they're more likely to pick up a furball and bop someone over the head with it.
Yeah.
What do you think it feels like to be a victim on the receiving end of a furball?
Well, I've been one.
How did it feel?
Rotten.
How long does the pain last on average?
With my ear, it lasts about a couple of weeks.
I suppose the appalling thing is that furballs, even at very low speed, can do you some damage.
Good, yeah.
What sort of damage can they do you at low speed, pressed into your face?
Well, you could get shoved into your face. It could be flat nose.
We're looking at neck legislation. Would you bring it back?
Yes. Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I just feel I would.
What harm goes down neck-wise these days?
But abuse.
Neck abuse?
Yeah, neck abuse.
Scarf abuse?
But tie abuse.
How high up should neck legislation be tabled?
Well, feet. Cut the feet.
Necks on their own or anything else with them?
No, on their own.
What is the most important area to legislate in for necks?
Angle, disposition.
Angle and disposition?
Yeah.
What angle?
Well, I should imagine coming down, over.
Neck angle coming down over?
Yeah.
Can you put a number on it?
6.